Hi everyone, EJ here. I am here for our new Teach Me series, which is a series of videos and live programming where you can learn different things, tips and tricks from a librarian. I'm here today to teach you some awesome ways to track your reading. So, we're going to get started. The topics today are what to track, how to track, who to track, and when to track. We're going to talk about apps and computer programs, as well as paper book logs, things like that. So we're going to get started. Here we go. Starting with what to track. Usually when you're tracking your reading, the easiest things to track are titles and authors, like what you would see in a book log. But there's lots of different options, and what you track is really up to you. And you can keep track of books you've read and books you want to read as well. If you want to make it a little bit funner for you to track your reading, you can add a rating system, you can answer specific questions, you can try to summarize the book, you can even keep a book quotes journal, which is a great way to remember and jog your memory, especially if lots of people ask you for reading recommendations. You can write a book review, either on Amazon or Goodreads, someplace that you have a record of what you read so you can look back on it later. And you can even try your hand at literary criticism. So starting with how to track with paper. There are a lot of different options, the easiest of which is just a book log where you can use a notebook or a journal or whatever you have on hand, even if it's just a set of stapled paper, that works. There's also different techniques you can use, from bullet journaling to even getting a template online where you can see all sorts of different ways to track your reading. Now, what is bullet journaling? Just a quick notes on that, also called Bojo. It's a flexible system that has a lot of different ways to be used. It uses logs. Logs are pretty much like the life force of bullet journaling, and it depends on running lists or what they called collections. And you can see in this image here is just some tips on how you wanted to start bullet journaling. You can use those tips there. I do want to show you some free logs and trackers that you can download for free online. This site is 101planners.com. And it has some printable book logs for you, and you can see they're pretty fun. They look like bookshelves. There's different ways to customize them and print them, and they're available for free for you to download. So there's a lot of different options out there, and it's important, or depending on what you think is important, to do it the way that makes you the most comfortable and that you can keep up with. Now, I talked a little bit about some different ways to make your book log a little bit more interesting for you. You can answer questions like, do you like it? What was your overall impression? Would you recommend it to others? Have you read that author before? Do you like that author? You can also summarize, which can be a quick account of the book to help remember and to jog your memory, just in case people do ask you for book suggestions. You can look back at your book log and say, oh yeah, this historical novel was awesome. It had these types of characters and it had this conflict and it's something that I really enjoyed. You can even add URLs or print out QR codes to summaries if you aren't really ready to write it all out. Now, literary criticism, that means that you are kind of thinking about and developing ideas about what the plot was, the main character development, who the antagonist was, and really looking at the author's writing style. Adding a rating system can be a great way to remember if you liked the book or if you didn't like the book. It can be something like stars, or 1 through 5, or even just a thumbs up or thumbs down or smiley faces, or whatever you're thinking would work for you. And then a book quotes journal is a great way to just remember things that really spoke to you when you were reading. You can put a title to your list and then add your favorite quote to it. And I think of it as like a time capsule of what you've read. And here are just some pictures of different things, different bullet journals, different to be read reading lists, all sorts of different things. And it's not just for books. You can keep track of series that you're watching. You can see down here in the corner, they're watching Game of Thrones and Big Bang Theory. There's also all these different ways to explore films to watch and things to color. This one over here is probably my favorite. It looks like they're coloring in the book spines based on how far they are in the book. So you can kind of use that as to say, oh, I'm 50% through, 75% through, and so on. So there's just so many different ways to go about tracking your own reading. Now, if you would rather track your reading online, there's a lot of different ways to do it. So there's kind of the equivalent to kind of doing it yourself on paper, which would be setting up a spreadsheet either on Excel or Google Sheets, which also both have apps where you can keep track on your phone. Google Keep and Evernote are both sort of like just note-taking apps. Both are on your computer and on your phone, so you can kind of sync all of that together. And those would just be simple as writing down the title and the author if you find a book that you want to read, and then putting your rating next to it if you finished the book. There's a few different programs that really do help out. One of those is, of course, Goodreads. Goodreads is such a huge, awesome resource that you can use. It has the opportunity to pretty much search for any book that you're looking for and then add it to your to-be-read list, your read list, your want-to-read list, your, any list that you can think of. It has reviews that you can do. It has challenges, community of readers where you can just connect with different readers who are reading just like you are, and you can connect with us. We have a brand new WCFL Adult Services group on Goodreads, and we hope that you will check that out as well. There's also something called LibBib. So LibBib is an app as well as a computer program or a website. And it has a free and a paid plan. And basically what that is it helps you keep track of your own book library. So if you have a lot of books, especially if you check them out to your friends or give them or let them borrow them, then you can keep track of that on LibBib. And the free option is really great. So I do encourage you to check that out if that's something you're interested in. There's also apps that can help track your book collection. So Handy Library, Litzy, Library Thing, and Bookly are all different apps that you can track your reading as well as your book library. And we see here that they are available on a variety of different options, Android and Apple. And then there's a Just for Fun app, which is one of my favorite ways to read classic books. Jane Austen and Moby Dick and anything that is in the public domain is on this app called Serial Reader. And what it does is it sends you about 12-minute, 15-minute snapshots of the book every day so that you can read just a couple of minutes every day. And it really does make you want to read more. And I think that's a really awesome way to start reading the classics as well. Shakespeare's on there, all sorts of fun stuff. So those are the tips that we have for you. This was a really quick video. We hope that you reach out and connect to us on Goodreads so we can give you more tips, and connect with us through email or Facebook so that we can even talk more about what you want to read and how you can track it. These are some of our upcoming programs that we would love to see you at. These are all virtual programs. Coming up on the 17th of March at 7 p.m. is the next iteration of the Literary Road Trip Book Club. They are reading The Brief, Wonderful, Wondrous Life of Oscar Wu. And this book is going through all of 50 states, and every book talks about or is placed in one of the states. And we're starting with how the states joined the Union. So last month we did the Book of Unknown Americans, and this month we are just chucking right along through all 50 books here. We've got our Chapters Live events where our librarian Caitlin reads to you out loud. It's an adult story time and it's live and on YouTube. You don't have to register. You can just hop onto our YouTube channel and watch it. And she is reading Around the World in 80 Days. If you are a fan of Bridgerton, the TV show, the Julia Quinn series, whatever, join us on Friday, March 26th 1 p.m. online. We're going to be talking about all things Bridgerton, the book, the movie, the differences, what we like, what we don't like. We can't wait. And in case you didn't know, the whole book series is available on Hoopla today with no wait at all. So those wait lists on Overdrive are pretty long, but on Hoopla, you can get it with no wait. If you need some resume help, we're doing a webinar on March 24th, 1 p.m. Sign in with that, and we will show you some tips and tricks that Google has given us on how to make your resume better. And speaking of Google, if you want to learn how to Google better or just search on the internet more effectively, join us on March 30th. That's a Tuesday at 2 p.m. where we're going to be talking about all these different ideas and how librarians search online and how we get the answers, and so that you can get the answers too. And we'll also be making that into a video that you can view. And thank you so much for watching this video. We hope that you enjoy it, and we hope to see you at one of our upcoming events.